In today's episode of our snack series, we've got for you a Gujarati specialty snack, Khandvi. These easy to make, melt in your mouth rolls are fit to impress. Whether it's a party or a multi course Indian meal you're preparing, Khandvi is a great addition to your menu. It's gluten free, high in protein, and makes a relatively healthy and guilt free snack. So, let us show you our secrets to making the perfect khandvi at home. We begin by making a gram flour batter. And here's our first secret, getting the ratios right. We're using 1 part yogurt, ideally yogurt that's gone a little sour, 2 parts water, and 1 part gram flour or besan. Add the water to the yogurt and whisk together till you have a buttermilk like consistency. Then add the besan or gram flour and whisk everything together till you have a runny or liquid but lump free batter. Once we have that ready, we can move on to the flavorings or aromatics for the batter, which are some green chilies and ginger. Recipes typically call for a ginger and chili paste, but since we usually don't have that at hand, we're grating in some chilies that we popped in the freezer for a few seconds, which makes the grating process much easier. And then we're grating an inch long piece of ginger into the batter directly as well. If you do have ginger chili paste lying around, you'd need around 2 teaspoons of that paste. And then last of the seasonings are half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida or hing. Whisk everything together till it's well combined, and that's it. The batter is ready, and you can move over to the stove for the next step, which is to cook down this batter into a smooth and thick custard. For this, you're going to need a thick bottom pan with a wide opening. If your pot or pan is too small, the khandvi mixture will take forever to cook. And if the bottom of the pan is too thin, the batter might stick or burn. We're passing the batter through a sieve to be 100% sure that there aren't any lumps or bits of ginger or chili in there. And then we begin the longest part of this process, which is the stirring. There's only one secret to getting this part right, and that is to never stop stirring. So put on your favorite playlist or podcast and stir it like you mean it. A rubber spatula is the best tool for this task, as it bends to scrape the edges of the pan and also helps you break any lumps that may form. Once you feel like the batter has started to thicken into a custard like consistency, you can start checking the level of doneness to see if your khandvi will set. This is our third secret to making the perfect khandvi. Most people struggle with making this dish because they don't cook it to the right level of doneness. If the khandvi batter isn't cooked long enough, it won't set properly and the khandvi will be impossible to roll. If you cook the batter too long, it will become too thick and will be impossible to spread. But we don't mean to scare you. The easy solution to achieving perfection is to take swatch tests to check the level of doneness. You can do this by thinly spreading a small amount of batter onto any smooth, lightly oiled surface, such as the back of a plate. Give the batter a couple of minutes to cool down completely and test if you're easily able to lift the edges of the batter with your fingers to make a roll. If the batter is still wet and difficult to handle, keep stirring and cooking it down. Once the swatch test comes out clean and the batter is easy to handle, you can move to the next step, which is to spread the batter. And here's our final secret: spread quickly. For this, you must pre-prepare your flat surfaces for spreading. We're using our kitchen counter, which we've cleaned and lightly oiled. You can also use a smooth plate. It's traditional to use the back of a steel plate since every Indian home has those, but you can also use the back of an oven tray, for example. Scoop out spoonfuls of batter onto your workspace and spread them out into a thin layer, making it as even as possible. You have to work very quickly at this stage because once the batter cools down, it'll clump up and you won't be able to spread it out anymore. Give the batter around 5 minutes to cool down and then cut through it lengthwise in 3.5 to 4 centimeter wide strips with a knife. Then Lift the edges of the strips with the tip of your fingers and roll. This is the most fun part of making khandvi, and I find making these little rolls a very therapeutic process. If you cook the batter down to the right consistency, these rolls should be very easy to put together and easy to handle. Now that we've shown you how to make the classic version of khandvi, let's also make some stuffed khandvi together. We've got our khandvi batter spread out onto the plate we were using for testing earlier, and to make the stuffed variant, we're going to use some finely grated carrot, grated coconut, and finely chopped coriander. But first, we're going to start by cutting the khandvi into strips as we did before. Sprinkle lightly with a layer of each of the fillings, and then roll the khandvi just like you did with the plain version. Adding these grated vegetables in between the khandvi rolls gives these layers some added texture, so we highly recommend that you give these a try. If you've been enjoying this video, give it a like. And please hit the subscribe button if you want to see what we've got in store for you in the next episode of the snack series. This khandvi can be eaten as is, of course, but would be incomplete without a tadka. So, the last stage in this process is to make a quick tadka for this khandvi. So let's put that together. For the tadka, heat up some oil in the smallest pan you own. To check if the oil is hot enough, add a couple of mustard seeds to the oil. If they splutter, you're good to go. Add the rest of the mustard seeds and a couple of slit green chilies, followed by a small handful of curry leaves as well as some sesame seeds. Fry till the mustard starts to splutter, the curry leaves are crisp, and the sesame starts to brown, and then immediately pour all over the khandvi. Garnish the khandvi with some chopped coriander and grated coconut, and it's ready to serve. Khandvi is a popular tea time snack and is usually served cold. So enjoy this khandvi with a cup of masala chai and share it with your friends and family. That's it for today's video, folks. We really hope you enjoyed making khandvi with us, and we'll see you in the next episode of our snack series.